Hello guys, so in this video I will just start a journey with you. Okay, so I have been uh, writing in many different programming languages like C, C++, Python, Golang, Rust. There is also JavaScript involved. Okay, so recently I have bought this beast machine. Okay, I call it this machine beast. So it's mostly because it has a very high RAM, lots of CPU cores. I have a 5070 Ti, more specifically RTX 5070 Ti. So I was learning about parallel programming, how to do distributed computing, and all that. And I found Golang to be like one of the top pioneers as compared to all other languages that I have been using. Okay, so what you are seeing now is I have mapped out my system configuration to a execution flow, okay, for a C program that you can see in this top left. Okay, so I was thinking of creating a set of video lectures so that I can explain to you guys like how you can leverage your system to a full extent to do distributed computing, because nowadays you can see like we have like LLMs and all that. So I guess distributed computing is a like learning about distributed computing is a good way for your portfolio or for your resume, and also how to extract out the last bit of computation from your system. Okay, so yeah, so about this flowchart. Okay, what I exactly did is I did the lscpu. So I'm running a Windows system. It's a Windows 11 11 system, and there I have installed WSL. Okay, now inside my WSL I'm doing this lscpu command, which is a Linux command, to see the system specs. Okay, as you can see, like yep, I have a CPU architecture of x86 64. Okay, I have two modes of computation, 32-bit and 64-bit. Okay, and I think the major take on is like I'm using a AMD Ryzen 9 9950 X3D. Okay, which is ideal for gaming and ML works also. Okay, and you can see like I have yeah, I have 32 cores. Okay, and each core has two threads, so which means like 64 execution I can do simultaneously. Okay, I also have avx AVX 512, which means I can also do SIMD execution. Beside that, I also have a good amount of GPU also. Like I told you, like I have a RTX 5070 Ti. Okay, so I have 16 gigs of VRAM in that. Okay, and I'm using CUDA 3.1. So what I did here is, so for this C program, I just mapped out like how exactly all the instructions that I have written in my program are going inside um, my system. Okay, as you can see, like this is a normal C program. I'm allocating some memory that is signing inside my heap. Okay, I'm creating multiple threads. Okay, more specifically more p threads. Okay, which has like native Linux threads. Okay, postfix threads. Okay, then each thread I'm doing some amount of work. Okay, and once I'm done with the work assignment, I'm basically joining with my main thread. Okay, and then I'm freeing up the memory. Okay, now per thread, how is it working? As you can see, I have my Linux kernel, system RAM. Okay, now beside my RAM, I have my L3 cache, which you can also see the size of it using lscpu. As you can see, like I have 96 MB of L3 cache. I have L2 cache, and I have two L1 cache. Okay, and I have 16 instances of them, and as you can see here. Okay, so yeah, what I did, like how the execution works here. So as you can see, like I'm creating four p threads. Okay, and each of them are getting spawned. Okay, Now when they are getting executed, my main thread is on a hold state, okay, because I have used pthread.join, okay, and each thread is kind of going inside all the cores, okay, like respective number of cores. Like I have 4 p threads, so they are mapped to 4 cores, okay. Now when they are executing the task, okay, they are basically pulling out stuff from the RAM, and when they are pulling out stuff from the RAM, each cache level are getting updated, okay. And when they are executed, so they are executed inside each core. Now for each core, I have execution contexts, I have registers where every data gets stored into the registers. Then all those data are getting computed in my ALUs, okay, which is like arithmetic logic unit, which actually performs the arithmetic operations, okay. So all that I have mapped out here, and once they have computed everything, they just put back the result into the stack, okay. So like that. So yeah, so whatever stuff I just told you, okay, maybe something will make sense, something may not make sense. So all that thing we will be covering in this series of video lectures, okay. So what all topics we will be studying is like we will understand concurrency, what exactly is the difference between concurrency and parallelism, what is the definition of OS threads, CPU cores, okay. And in this series of lecture, I will stick to Golang because I think Golang is one of the top pioneers for concurrent programming, okay. We do have like C and C++, okay, but managing the workload and thinking about memory is a little complex in C and C++ kind of language. And for Rust, I have no idea. I tried it, but every time I tried, I just think like I should kill myself. Why I do that? Okay, so I'll stick to Golang because it is garbage collected, as well as the distributed computing primitives that it provides. It's pretty good. Okay, so yeah, I'll stick to Golang. We will also understand the difference between concurrent execution in different languages. So I'll focus upon C++, Python, and Golang. Okay, we will understand the CPU cache hierarchies. Like you can see here, we have a L3 cache, L2, L1. What are the roles of them? Okay. Then we will understand one more interesting concept, which is SIMD execution, which is like single instruction, multiple data. How even like let's say even if you have, let's say, one core in your machine, you can still perform parallel execution or maybe distributed computing, okay. And we will also understand like why parallel programming is not always good as compared to a sequential version, okay. So all that thing we will be covering. So yeah, just stay tuned to watch more videos on it, and yeah, I will post more lectures on it. So till then, just wait for me to upload those videos. Okay, bye bye.